Music review: Heliocentric by Paul Weller, released in 2000 or 2000 as I like to say it. This was the follow-up to Heavy Soul, and it was an album that really didn't get the credit that it deserved. It sort of flew under the radar a little bit, and it's certainly a very polished piece of work. As always, I'm going to go through it track by track, just to say that the band on the album was very much the same as the one that Paul used on Wildwood and on Heavy Soul. So, of course, Steve Craddock is very, very integrated into those albums, as he is with this one. And also, the drummer who Paul has worked with for years is also on this album. Let's get onto it then. Track 1 opens up with He's a Keeper. It would have been a neat fit on Heavy Soul, but it's slightly lighter in delivery. There's a smouldering bass and guitar that wakes you up, and some neat interplay between Weller and Craddock. It's a track that basically is asking for a leader to follow. That's my take on the lyrics. A point about lyrics. Lyrics are very much what you read into them. So my comments here are just basically what I thought about them. You might have a completely different look once you read them. So to track 2, Frightened. It stands out for the string arrangements and Paul's deft piano work. His vocals have matured a lot in recent years and are very accomplished, particularly on the more ballad style songs. The violin on this track is almost ELO-like, becoming a lead instrument. The track is drenched in orchestration, and it's about loneliness. It's about not living up to what people think or accept. On to track 3 then, Sweet Pea, My Sweet Pea. This was a single off the album, as was He's a Keeper. It's an ode to a love, a special love. It's jaunty, it's breezy. Craddock and Weller get well knitted on acoustic guitars. There's lots of tambourine, suggesting a lot of fun with jaunty piano to boot. It's a nice track. That's special love is the tone of the lyrics. So on to track 4, A Whale's Tale. It starts with some psychedelic lead guitar followed by an acoustic beat in unison with Paul's gentle lead. Another ballad about the sea. Terrific bass from Minchella. And there's a pinch of psychedelia and mixed in with a nice melody. This is good contemporary music by an elite artist. And it's basically about the whale and some noises politically about how they're abused and not understood and killed. That's a tip to the Japanese. It neatly links in with track 5, Back in the Fire, which is a bluesy inspired track with a touch of funky jazz rhythm. It works, believe me, it works. And it's about, love, good runs good to the end. It's all pretty knitted into relationships. Track 6 is Dust and Rocks, and it's one of the standout tracks on this album. There's some shimmering organ at the top and then plodding drums before the steel guitar sound comes deep back into the mix before the crushing rhythm followed by tasty acoustic echo keys. The instruments are cleverly layered in and the production is delivered to make a complete sound. I like the piano solo as well, which is 3 minutes in, and the strings again front out in the mix. It's reprised with the guitar at the end rising high into the sky. It's 5.5 minutes of musical bliss and certainly a highlight on this album. Okay, so that's also about a relationship ending. That's my take, of course. There's No Drinking After You're Dead, track 7. It's a real rocker with Weller letting his hair down. Bit like The Jam, although the production's obviously much cleaner. Craddock is strong here as well. And there's some strings added for depth, but not at the front. The bass and drums get a workout here. And it links into track 8, which is Time and Temperance, with Time and Temperance. Okay, another beautiful ballad. Very style council, I thought. The harmony linked between the strings and the acoustic guitar. This style of song's becoming one of Weller's strongest cards in terms of a musical ensemble. Delicate oboe adds a tinge of unique quality, as does the synth noises to remind us of psychedelic guitar solos, which outros another great track. Track 8, again, about the lessons of relationships in life. Move on then to Picking Up Sticks. There's a nice organ intro that glides into the rhythm. Some excellent picking acoustic meshed in with electric wizardry, albeit brief. The organ reminds me of late 60s rock, and then the pace quickens, traffic-like, especially with the frantic drum solo before dovetailing back into the quick beat. It's a very attractive piece of work, and it's about life's challenges. Okay, so to the final track then, Loveless. And what a gem it is. There's some beautiful piano with horns start us off with soaring vocals from Paul, full of melancholia and a flowing melody. It soars into the break, and then the bridge goes back to the orchestral symphonic rhythm and those harmonies deep in the mix again. And as I listen, I sense a soul feel, a reminder of the style council influence. The arrangements are indeed impressive. And let's not forget the sides synthesizers to remind us it's the new millennium. So overall, this is a very, very good piece of work. It grows on you from repeated listens. I would thoroughly recommend it, but give yourself a chance and listen at least 4 or 5 times, possibly with headphones on and with no distractions. Wonderful album, Heliocentric, Paul Weller, released in 2000.